I wish good things to you who's watching this. I am Alexey, and this is an Azul streamers match for the first time ever. Before we had only Carcassonne streamers matches, and this one is special in many ways. First of all, I am playing for the first time somebody who has a peak rating higher than mine. This is none other than the fellow YouTuber Priptonite and a well-known Azul master in the competitive community. Their peak rating is, I think, 930 something. Mine is 898, so just short of 900. So this ain't gonna be easy. We're playing today a best of 5 with 22.5 minutes per side, and we're trying a couple of new adjustments to the rules. So first of all, we're trying a new tiebreaker from the Carcassonne world, so there will going to be no ties. As we know, the main tiebreaker in Azul is the number of completed lines at the end of the final round. And this tiebreaker, of course, remained. And then if the number of completed lines and the number of points are the same for both players, then the game is declared a tie. But then we're going to be using a tiebreaker from Carcassonne, basically saying that the player who wasn't the starting player is going to be awarded the win in case of a tie. Do let me know in the chat if you think that it is a reasonable tiebreak, or at least it has become already commonplace in the Carcassonne world, and we figured that in Azul it would also make sense, simply because the starting player in the first round typically gets a bit of an advantage. And so if the game ends in a tie and you have to award a win to somebody, well, that somebody going to be the second player rather than the first player. And the format is very, very straightforward. I guess the one thing I'm going to add is that we're going to be alternating who is the starting player, exactly because of that starting player advantage. So in case the system wrongly assigns the starting player, we're going to abandon the game and start a new one. So just wanted to tell you all about my opponent today, whom my Azul viewers will know, of course, very well. My Carcassonne viewers, maybe not so much. So as you can see, Priptonite from the United States, they're rated 811 at the moment, 930 something. 7,000 gamers of experience, also tremendous win rate, so obviously very, very strong. But most importantly, they have their own YouTube channel, which, unlike mine, is not part Azul, but thoroughly dedicated to Azul, where they do games, all sort of commentated games in forms of live streams and in forms of videos as well. You have games analyses here. You have just quick thoughts about Azul. Well, maybe you don't have many thumbnails, but trust me, like, the content is actually really good inside if you want to up your Azul strategy. So, I have been preparing hard for this one. Hi, Al. Hi, Mauricio. Did a couple of practice games in the last couple of days and blew 50 rating points on that. But yeah, I've been also watching videos of some other content creators as well, so hopefully we'll be able to put up a good fight. At the moment, myself, I'm rated just over 800 as well. So as you see, we're maybe roughly in similar shape. Wait, the Carcassonne, wait, let's just forget about that for a second. You didn't see anything. Yeah, so 6,000 of games that I had played so far, which is about 4,000 too many, maybe. And what else? That was actually a very quick intro. We still have 2 minutes left until the actual stream. Really not that much to add. The rules are as straightforward as they get. Yeah, so you can see the number of matches here is 11, but it's not actually 11. It's still going to be a best of 5. We only need the 11 matches in case the system wrongly assigns the starting player, in which case we would need to abandon a game and move on to the next one. Also, some pretty standard practice in the Carcassonne world. 22.5 minutes per game. Now, that is non-standard for either of my favorite mind sports, but the idea here, of course, because we need to not only think about our moves, but commentate on them, so hopefully there will be enough time for both high-level play and also to discuss that high-level play as well. Oh yeah, and of course it's regular Azul, no expansions, just like it is customary in any mind sports, really. Hi, Divaka. Well, good to see that y'all are increasing your numbers. Of course, just make sure to like the stream if you like the stream, just so that the algorithm picks it up a little bit. Alrighty, and that first game is starting. So are we going to be the starting player? And yes, we are going to be the starting player. Let's just exchange some pleasantries. I don't normally do that, but I guess for the sake of a stream. Alrighty, so let's start analyzing this position. 6 yellows, 2 blues. That's pretty interesting. Very short on blues. 4 reds, 3 blacks. 3 blacks. So, my eyes are drawn to the whites, of course. Actually, my eyes are drawn very well to the whites, because I feel like there are a lot of support that I can have. So let's say if I take whites for row 3, and this is my first instinct, then what? We're threatening very good blue for row 2. We have these here whites to support the bottom rows. Then there are some other interesting situations where our opponent can grab a group of 2 and then give us the starting player token. The only downside with that move is that all these yellows are sort of useless. I wonder if I can make use of the yellows. Like, is it crazy to do something like this? Yes, it is. Reds also here not threatened that much. Yeah, I think it's a pretty straightforward opening here. So we're going to start with the whites. We're pretty much guaranteed to complete our row 3. We have 3 chances left to do so. If my opponent chooses to take away blues from me, that's not going to end well for them in most cases. I didn't quite think what's going to be their strongest move. I think they might be enticed into taking this 1 gold for row 3 and kind of building the row 3 like this. I don't think it's the strongest response. I actually would prefer that they're gonna do that. Yeah, and it's a very natural response. And you see, they changed their mind. They changed their mind. The reason why it's not the best response in my view is just because they don't have blues to support the golds. So I will be immediately taking away my blues for row 2. If they take away the blues now, that's pretty interesting. And yeah, okay, that's actually very, very interesting, huh? Yeah, that's a good response. And the idea behind this is they relinquish the starting player tile, and they will be taking, yeah, I know what they're going to be doing. They're going to be then taking maybe blues for row 4, but I'm going to bite. Their starting tile is pretty good here. I don't necessarily have to put blues in row 2. I can do this in a later round in any case. And if anything, the setup where I have 1 red and 2 gold is pretty efficient as it is. Also, I want to play relatively quickly at the start because we're going to need all that thinking time towards the end. Now that is interesting. Again, why is he playing moves that I did not think about? That's pretty interesting. I guess that makes sense. So he figures that I have a need for blacks, and he's taking blacks away from me. But actually now, I think I can deliver something annoying, no? The blues he still needs for his row 3 if he's committed for that column. And also I'm making it much harder for him to finish his row 3 with the gold if he wants. Because let's say if he ignores that. Let's say if he just takes something... Wow, okay. Really? Is that the play here? I don't think he should be allowing me to complete my row 4. Even though yellow is about as useless a color as it gets for my row 4, it's still 1 point, and it's still usable for the creation of secondary threats. Alrighty. Now it's interesting. Now it's very, very interesting. I guess the standard... Yeah, of course, basically he doesn't want to leave me the gold. The standard idea here is to, of course, take this and kind of force him to take this. Because he doesn't really want to leave his row 3 incomplete in this here. Round. Just because the rows are misaligned. Like, he really needs to get it done. So I guess that would be pretty much forced. But I wonder if there's anything better here in this position. What if I just make a bit of progress at the bottom first? What if I maybe fill in my blacks here a little bit? Let's say I take one black here. Takes this, I take that. Nah. I think we're fine. Ah, I see what the issue is. Well, basically, regardless of what I do now, I'm not going to be able to get a neat configuration at the bottom. Like, I want 2 reds, 2 blacks, or 2 blacks, 2 whites. But if my opponent's going to leave me with 3 groups, he will make sure that whichever group I put here first, he's going to leave me the one which doesn't fit. So how do we deal with that? Can I just take 1 black? Is it bad? I wanna think of something which is not the 2 golds, okay. So if I unify the 2 reds, he is gonna probably just take the 2 golds, and then I'm gonna take that. Yeah, you know, okay. I made my decision. I'm gonna do this. And basically the plan is just to deliver my opponent a lot of sadness. On the blacks. So we're gonna do this actually, which is gonna force my opponent to take the whites. Yeah, exactly. I will be forced to discard, but that's fine. But the idea is that now I'm building the same column that my opponent is. I have the starting player tile, and my opponent also needs blacks here, here, here. So this is the plan for the round. I'm going to just try to take away all the blacks that there are. So, of course, I cannot keep my row 4 open. Let's just double count the tiles real quick. So we need to keep track of the discards to make sure that we know the number of each tile remaining. So 2 golds, 2 reds, and 1 white are the discards. So 0, 2, 2, 0, 1 are the discarded tiles. 0, 2, 2, 0, 1. Of course. Oh, what a run out! What a run out! I don't think I need to think about this one too hard. The plan works like a charm. I get to take all his blacks away. All of the blacks. Well, it's as unfortunate as it gets. He doesn't even have whites for his row 4. It's bad. And he's kind of forced to take 2 blacks now because he needs to make some progress, and this will give me 2 blues in row 3. It's just a horrible run out for my opponent, which also makes me think how nice it is to be the starting player for 2 rounds in a row. Yeah, and he chooses to just take the starting player token, but this now allows me to do one of 2 things. I, of course, going to be taking more blacks away from him. And I think this is the way. Yeah, this is the way. Is there any way how he could hurt me? I don't think so. I should be finishing my row 2 one way or another. Especially if my opponent's not going to try too hard to prevent me from doing so. Maybe something like this could be nice. Let's force our opponent to just discard a couple more tiles. And my idea is that I still have 2 reds available for my row 2. This round also I won't be making any advancements in any of my key objectives. Yeah. Okay, so now we get to do this as well. Right. Yeah, I think that should be good. Maybe I should have thought for longer a little bit. But still, this move has the same idea pretty much, because I want to make him discard a little bit more. I want to make him invest that extra gold. I also want to make sure that my reds don't get grouped into 3 reds. And if my opponent chooses to take 2 reds now, then of course these golds going to get grouped together, which is going to help me go over here. Which makes me think that the correct move is 1 gold, and as I say it, my opponent does exactly this. Oh, okay, yeah, fine. And a forcing sequence of moves occurs. Wait, 0, oh man, I keep forgetting. 02201, I think, was the formula for discarded tiles. So now it's 04201. Hi Genki, hi Sunny. Thank you for your support. No, 03201. Yeah, because he did actually use it for his first row, which makes a lot of sense. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Do I want to take a black for row 4, a white for row 4, or discard in row 4? By the way, discarded tiles are 13201. That is so interesting. So if I take the whites, then I sort of advance my column 5, but then my board is very, very clean. And I wonder if I even need to put anything in my row 4. I would prefer to do so. Let's see. So 10 blacks already on the board. I'm going to presume that the next runouts round actually is not going to have a lot of blacks. You know what? Let's take the whites, because there's a sizable number of whites still remaining. And I'm going to just try and complete a normal row, a normal column 3 like a normal person. So 1, 4, 2, 0, 2. 1, 2, 4, 0. No, 1, 2, 4, 0, 1 are the discarded tiles, yeah. 1, 4, 2, 0, 1 are the discarded tiles. So 4 golds discarded, which is pretty interesting. A decent run out. One with something for both sides. We're doing very well for blues. Ideally, we'd have 1 more blue in this round. So probably the plan for Priptonite is to use 2 blues here and 1 blue here to deny me the row 3. Then it's quite easy for him to finish row 3 of his own. Of course, he wants to advance his blacks because I can always use blacks here. Also, I'm in no rush to finish my row 2 here, because really my opponent has nowhere to use these golds. So this is actually quite perfect. And if he chooses to discard them to spend the negative points, then so be it. Of course, putting them in row 4 would be madness in this situation. Yeah, and unfortunately he makes what I think is in fact the best move. What are we gonna do? Should I take the starting player token here or not? I could start stealing his blacks. That would be kind of nice. I could start grouping blues for me. I could also do that, actually. Yeah. I could start taking whites. And it's also not obvious if I need the starting player token here or not. So my candidate moves, actually, there's several. I can take two. Okay, let's exclude this. It's just too bad. I'm not giving him back so many whites. I can just use one white here. I can use one black here for starting token. Or I can just use one white here and to group these blacks and make it kind of awkward for him on his row 5. But the thing is, if he finishes his row 5, it's actually not that bad, because he will be building up his column 5 inefficiently. You know what? I now figured that we're running kind of short on tiles. So we're competing for the same column, so I figured that it's as good for me to have the starting player token after all. And I'd really love to get a couple more whites in this round. There are some scenarios where we both complete our row 3 with reds. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. You see, that makes a lot of sense. Then, ooh, do I actually group the blacks for him? I don't think so. Let's try this first. And the idea is we still preserve the option to make him discard the blacks. I also realized that there are scenarios how I could lose my row 2, but that's okay. I'm not losing row 2 here without a lot of compensation. And I'm also using the best tile available for that top row. Just need to double check again. 14201 were the discards. Okay, need to keep track of that. This is kind of my main weakness, actually, is tile tracking. Part of that is because there's little incentive to develop it, since in person you can just look inside of the box, and in Board Game Arena you can't. But this is just lack of planning on Board Game Arena's part. It's not something that's inherently in the game. Oh, I realize actually I can lose my row 2 if he takes now 2 reds. I'm gonna use 2 whites for my row 4. He's gonna just discard 2 golds. But then, is there a way how I can make myself something really, really good? I think so. I think there's gotta be some compensation. Like, I don't see it yet, but there has to be something. Oh yeah, basically, this combination, like if he's too obsessed with denying me about my row 2, it's not gonna work. So let's say he takes these reds. Really? Really? This shouldn't work. I don't think that works at all. First of all, this doesn't really deny me a row 2, that's the thing. Oh, but actually, it does make sense in the sense that I'm not going to get the highest scoring row 2 possible. But now I wonder, can't I just like group everything for him? So can I just do something like this? Okay, so if I get one white grouped 4 reds together, he does this. Then I get another white. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's interesting. It's interesting. I'm also a bit shorter on time. Oh, by the way, 16201 are the discards. Sheesh. I wonder if it's actually more precise to take a white for row 4. Okay, so let's say I take 1 white for row 4. He takes 4 reds. Presumably I take something like 1 black. I'm figuring basically whether it's worth sacrificing my row 2 or not. I don't think I should be this extravagant. I'm still going to have a playable position, right? I'm still going to have a playable position. Okay, let's try this. The idea is to just try threaten row 3. Even if I don't get all tiles in my row 3, I should make significant progress now. The standard tactic is something to consider, but it doesn't really work. Because let's say if he takes 1 black, which is the first move that comes to your mind, right? Then I still gonna get my row 2 and I still gonna get my row 3, and he's gonna just get a teeny tiny bit in row 3 or 4. Hi, Glavier. Yeah, I don't think I'm a huge fan of him discarding 2 gold, simply because just like I can't calculate all these variations that deeply because there's a lot to consider, but simply because gold are tiles which only I need. And there's still tiles on the boards which both of us need. So I still need 3 blues, for example. Both of us need whites for row 4. Both of us kind of need reds. I need reds for row 5 or row 3. He needs reds for row 3. He also needs to make sure that not too many tiles get grouped in the center because he kind of wants to complete his row 5 and definitely wants to complete his row 1. Also catching up on the time a little bit. 10 minutes for the last 2 rounds is actually not that many. It's not that much. So he goes for the standard tactic after all, and now forces my move. And also, this was the reason why I was kind of considering using a white here, but it doesn't really work because I can't. Oh, he's planning to take away the blues from me, okay. But I'm actually happy if he takes away blues from me. Because then I get my 5 reds, and 5 reds are amazing. It's 2 points and sort of kind of a secondary column threat. Yeah, this is better. This is better. Now, well, actually, I'm not sure. No, actually, it's exactly the same. It's pretty much the same, except it's more forcing. So yeah, now I'm sort of forced to do something like this. (16202) are the discards. After this, 1 white. Oh, now it's also a big question for him. Does he go for... does he go for reds? Or does he go for one black? Probably one black is still the play. And I wonder if it's crazy for him to actually put the two blues in row 4. Because he knows that I'm the starting player going to be just stealing those whites away from him. Yeah, and also, if he does put two blues in row 4, he can just pivot to another column. He's going to need only one more white. But he's going to save himself 4 points. So he does this. I am obviously going to keep my row 3 clean. I'm going to do this. And this is the interesting moment. Discard or row 4? I think row 4. I think row 4 is the play. I think that 4 points is just a bit too many to give up. Hi. Craftref is saying, noob question, why not row 4 with the, why not complete row 4 with the white? That's excellent question. We need more of those noob questions. By the way, our opponents choose to discard the two blues, and I think now this run out illustrates why maybe they should not have done so. This also means that the discarded tiles are 3, 6, 2, 0, 2. So I'm kind of have a mnemonic to just follow the order of the starting road. So we have 3 blues, 6 of those, 2 of those, 0 blacks, and 2 of those discarded. Okay. So, what do we do? Actually, first of all, here we count the remaining tiles throughout. So, if there were 3 blues discarded, which means 3, 4, 10, 16, there are 4 blues remaining, which is actually not a lot, so I really need to take care of my row 3. How about golds? There are 6 golds discarded, so 6, 10, 11, 3 golds remaining, which is enough. Because neither of us really needs gold that much. Reds, 2 reds discarded, so 4, 9, 10, 12, 14, 6 reds remaining. Wow, that's a lot. So I can actually do a weird thing where I place reds in my row 3 and try to go for complete color. It's bonkers, but it's technically still possible. 0 black discarded, so 6, 11, 12. Ooh! 18. 18, so only 2 blacks remaining, right? 18, 16, no, 17. What am I talking about? 4, 7, 12, 17. Okay, so this means that I might have to use blacks for my row 2 and delay the gold. It's not obvious, man. It's not obvious at all. Not obvious at all. But how are we doing for whites? That most importantly. So 7, 8. Wait, there are 2 discarded, right? So 4, 8, 9, 10, 15. 5 whites. Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot of whites. Not great news for us. Yeah, kind of our opponent's going to get all his objectives, really. Okay. Well, actually, no. Not all his objectives. He's not going to get his row and column. Okay, I think I know what to do. I think we need to do this. Just be very dynamic on those whites. And then we try and complete the column now and just run away with our 7-point lead. My plan is to now grab 2 whites for row 1. And so I wonder if my opponent should now take the whites instead. But if my opponent takes the whites, I'm probably going to grab 2 blacks for row. I'm going to just use the blacks. That's the issue that my opponent's going to experience. I think this position is objectively lost. for my opponent. I doubt there is really anything to be done. Because they need both the starting player token and some critical tile groups as well. That is an issue. Oh, wait, how are we doing? Yeah, 4 blues remaining. So if I get myself just 2 blues for row 3, I should be fine. And also with 5 whites, I still can technically threaten complete color as well. But it's not going to happen because my opponent is going to use whites in all kind of places. Oh wait, did I even finish answering the question? Yeah, so why I did not want to take away... Why did I want to finish my row 4 in the last round? Because I would have been stranded with 1 white here in second row, and that's just a horrible thing. Because you see now I wouldn't have not been able to continue my column. And also generally you want to prioritize the top 2 rows unless you're getting some very good compensation. And you see, this is my opponent gets creative. Yeah, so they're just trying to take blues away from me. That's interesting. That's interesting. Isn't that super, super interesting? Okay. So they take away blues from me. I could, if I want to, just complete my row 3 objective now. Or actually, should I just give them the blues and go for the starting player token? Because then maybe that's the play. I'm also going to be taking away blacks. Are they trying to set up a secondary column? That's also a possibility for them. So what's the priority here? What if I just take the blues myself? How bad is it? Actually, I don't think it's at all that bad. Yeah, let's do this. Sort of, it doesn't change that much, right? Let's try this then, because I am gonna need those. He's kind of forced to take blues. And then I'm gonna take 2 whites, and then he should be losing some row as well. Yeah, by the way, the reason why I prioritized gold now is because my opponent was threatening to take 1 black here and group all golds and try to take away row 2 from me and also prepare a second column, which is still live, surprisingly. Oh, but that one feels like I should... Okay, that's smart, fine. Fine. And yeah, and now I cannot take the blues. Is it so interesting? I can only take the whites, I guess. No, actually, no. I can do this, forcing my opponents the blues. Because that would be madness not to use them. I only need 1 blue, really, for my row 3. I can even live without the blue for row 5. Sorry, without the blue for row 1. And the idea is now, if he takes away my blue, I take away his white and make it just almost impossible for him to complete any row or column. Yeah, that is his problem. Because I'm even going to let him complete his top. There's actually another chance how he could win. There are some scenarios how he can force the game into the 6th round. Oh, I think it's it has to be a mistake, no? Why not black? We're so short on blacks. We're so short on blacks, no? And there should be a sufficient number of reds. Oh, no, that's not a mistake, because he knows that he wants to take away blacks from me, which he now can do. Oh, lordy, that's so... Wait, why? Ah, okay, that makes sense, yeah. So he first of all wants to punish me on the blues, which is fine. Actually, do I just let him? That's the thing. Because I'm also threatening complete color with the whites right now. Yeah, it's very tough. It's also actually pretty good run out for my opponents in this here round, interestingly. Yeah, it's just... There isn't anything that works. So their best bet is to try and induce a mistake. But that is not going to happen. I'm also not going to lose anything on the discards, because I have row 4 completely free. Yeah, they go for it, which makes a lot of sense. And now... Ooh. I guess I have to complete my column. And then if they take away my blacks, then I'm gonna get a bonus on a complete color. Yes. That is the idea behind this. Oh, they're trying to be even extra efficient. Okay. Okay. I am going to do this. Oh, wait. They're going for the 6th round. Oh, oh man, that was such a bad miss. Oh my god. I was precisely saying that they have a chance to win this in the 6th round. Oh my lordy. I mean, I still should be fine. I guess this is all right? No? Oof. Yeah. And actually, it's a pretty bad position to be in the 6th round. Because if there are lots of whites, then there's nothing that my opponent can really... there's nothing that I can do. Oh, this is so bad. So I just should have finished my row 2, of course. Ay. Now... I'm gonna let him try and complete his column 4. Yeah, that's what he has to do. And now I just have to hope for a lot of blues in the run out. I mean, it's still very nice that that row is blocked. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do just fine. Actually, I even have this. I even have this move available to me. Because I am threatening complete color on the reds, and I'm threatening to finish the game at the same time. Yeah, that's very rough, of course, for my opponent. That final run out. final runout is actually also pretty perfect. Because, oh, I even get... Wait. I even get something ridiculous like this, right? What is better? So okay, let's do a bit of calculation. So if I take this, I win 6. If I do this, and if I do this, it should be more. Yeah, it should be 8. Alrighty, GG to my opponents. Definitely, that's very good effort on their part, which I completely missed. Putting the game into round 6 and still having themselves some chances, but gorgeous runouts. And already we start with a game with 6 rounds, which are pretty rare to begin with. Alright, so 1-0 for us. Always a nice start. Now they have to be the starting player now. Yeah, and we need to abandon that one. Just because it's their turn to be the starting player. Again, the system really wants me to win this one, doesn't it? Wait, what does it say in progress? Did I not abandon it properly? Oh, there we go. Hey, K Sunny's asking how many matches today. It's a best of 5. Oh! Oh my god. Was it 5 in a row? No, it was 4 in a row. Actually, no, 5 in a row. 5 in a row, yeah. Okay. Finally they get to start. And they also get a pretty decent run out to begin with. So let's just update the score. Also, for once, my tile tracking was correct. It's so nice. Luis Santos is saying, don't click on return to site. If you click on rematch, the first player challenge guaranteed. Not with this format. You can't click rematch on a tournament game. That's the problem. It used to be an option on Board Game Arena, but they took that away like 2 years ago. And the reason why they did that is so that accidentally, God forbid, a non-premium player might get to accidentally play a game in fixed time format. Anyway, interesting move here. Well, kind of not leaving me a lot of options, really. I have to go with these whites. But now that I think about it, it actually makes a lot of sense for them. There's so many whites. They're bound to threaten something good in their row 4. Oh, actually, it's a very lovely run out for them. So look at this. They have this unconnected pair of yellows. They also have these disconnected blues. So it's some perfect options for my opponent. Now, I will be taking these whites, but I'm considering equally all three moves. So I could go here, here, or here. Now, which one's better? This seems like the most natural one because I can complete it in 2 turns. But the problem is that my opponent gets here, and then actually no, it's not a problem. Yes, it is a problem because look at this. I'm gonna get 3. My opponent's gonna still get these 2 yellows to threaten something more. So what if I actually use my row 4 instead and just go again the same strategy as last game to oppose them on the same column as before? So what do we do? Actually, first of all, we'll make this full screen, something we should have done a long time ago. There we go. That's better. Now what do we do? We burn 2 whole minutes. So okay, if I do go for the row 3, which is natural move, you know what? If I man, it's so bad. Okay, if I do this, then I do this. You know, let's just try this. Let's just see what happens. Like I can see some good options here. If there were 6, blues remaining, that would have been a different question. Let's try now something like this, just to threaten our row 3 maybe. It's not the best row 3, but it's a row 3. And then ideally I'd like to take both of these blacks for row 5. And then just start stealing all the blacks from my opponent. Actually, even 1 black is fine. And there should be a lot of those next round because there's still 18 of them remaining. By the way, if any of y'all would prefer for me to have gone on row 3 instead, do let me know. Because now that I've already committed on row 4, then I wouldn't be able to use your insights, so that's perfectly legal. And if you would have gone for row 3, then do let me know your logic instead. I feel like our opponent should not allow us an easy row 3, right? Unless they have... Alice saying row 4 is more combative, row 3 seems a lot more peaceful. I didn't come here for peace, so I perceive your comments as validation. Yeah, exactly. 7 whites allows a 3+4 distribution. Also, something quite instructive. Yeah, the total number of each color in the first round really matters a lot. If there were 6 whites instead of 7, I would have easily gone for row 3. Oh yeah, and the reason why it's so important, a scenario where our opponent completes 4 rows in the first round is nothing short of a disaster. Okay. Okay. What do we do now? What do we do now? That makes sense, of course, what our opponents did. I feel like the row 3 is not that important. I can just complete my row 4. That's an option. Actually, that's a definitely decent option. Because then my opponent can probably... Actually, I don't see anything like super dangerous that they can do. Yeah, I think it's good. So far, I'm behind on productively placed tiles, but it's gonna improve shortly. Yeah, that's very interesting. Actually, I'm okay with that. They go for the standard tactic. I think it is the best move, yeah. Because they're both going to be discarding a bunch. It's his best. It's his best, yeah. Now, which way is better? Do we take golds first or do we take reds? So if we take reds, we discard less, but then they have just a slightly better setup. Actually, no, reds are correct. Because also another thing, we don't actually want to complete our rows like this. It is inefficient. If I go here with the reds, then at the very least, I give myself a chance to try and do something meaningful here. No. And yeah, of course I need to take away a black here, because I will be just pummeling those blacks. Slightly inefficient row 1, but I don't think it was a bad round. I feel like they have just a slight advantage, and it compensates that I have a starting player token. So I think we managed to equalize pretty decently here. And also there now should be a sizable number of blues and not so many whites and a lot of blacks statistically. Let's just double check. So 0, 2, 1 are discarded tiles. So 0, 2, 1. And let's see what the second round brings us. Only 2 whites. Perfect. Not a lot of blues. Not perfect. 7 reds. Okay. Sort of not that relevant. 4 golds. That is pretty bad. That is pretty bad. Okay. Let's try do this. And then I think we will need... we will need to discard 1 white in this round or something like this. So overall, the important part of the plan is that we just keep their bottom rows clogged. I also want to group 3 blues as early as possible. And ideally I want to take 2 gold. And the reason I want to take 2 gold is because he has an option of taking 3 golds over here. And 2 reds over here and 1 black over here. That's just an insanely efficient setup. Yeah, he does this. And you see, here's my problem now. I think I have to discard the one... Yeah. So now there's the question, do I just let him finish row 4? Like, how bad is it? He's gonna finish it eventually. Because you see, if I over-prioritize... If I over-prioritize messing with his rows... then I can just lose floor line points for nothing. Okay, let's just calculate the principal variation. So the obvious move, I take 1 blue. He takes 2 gold, of course, for his row 3. I take maybe 1 gold. He takes 1 gold. I'm forced to take 2 blues for my row 2. It's so underwhelming. You know what? I feel like it's just more important to deny him his row. My row 2 is actually nowhere near guaranteed as well. And he will be using blues for his row 2 as well. That's a possibility. I could also make him discard a lot, but honestly, it's just not going to do all that much. Yeah, the advantage of taking one white is that I might create a situation where he needs to discard a lot of reds. Should we try it? Should we try it? Oh, let's try it. No. Quit listening to your impulsive, intrusive thoughts, Alexey. Let's calculate this one through. Is there anything else? Okay, if I take 1 gold, for example, is there a lot of good that I can do with it? Maybe some. No, you know what? Let's think long term. Just having his row clogged is a pretty good idea. It's a good idea. It's not wrong. It's not wrong at all. And what I'm going to be trying to do is I'm going to just try to group everything in the center as soon as possible. There's some scenarios where I get to finish my row 2 with 2 blacks. Unlikely, but still possible. Yeah, that's incredibly efficient from them. And now, do I just... Do I just do something like this? And start building my row 3 maybe? No, I think I need to take care about my row 2 actually quite deeply. Okay, you know what? Let's do this. And if he takes 1 gold now... Yeah, you see, I actually don't want to overcommit because... Because the problem is that I ideally want to somehow merge the 2 yellows in the center. And maybe deny row 2. Can I actually go with the blue in row 3? Is that crazy? I think I can. I think that works. Because I will be threatening row 2 with 2 yellows. I think that works. I'm not positive. Actually, now that I realize, I think it doesn't. I think it doesn't quite work. Oh, but neither does this, no? Don't I just have the perfect hand? Yeah, exactly. Because if you were to do this, then I actually have a pretty easy way of just cleaning everything up. Well, not cleaning everything up, but having, let's say, substantial progress. But the idea that I'm having right now is that we both are going to lose our row 2. At least if I'm calculating this correctly. And at least I'm gonna make some semblance of progress towards my row 3. I'm not gonna complete my row 3 though. Don't think that ever works. So he does this. But doesn't that just sort my position right out? Okay. Well, I'm gonna do the thing that I was planning to do. I thought he just needed to wait and take one yellow. I mean, everything is gonna be like awfully disconnected, just awfully disconnected for me. So I think he's gonna have a slightly better position, actually. So he's trying to make that move simply not to discard, but in that case I'm gonna have 4 reds in my row 4, which don't do nothing much, they just make sure that I don't discard. So his round 2 has been better than mine overall. So he goes for it after all, and I don't think I have many options other than this. It absolutely forces him to take the gold, because if not, I just have myself the world. No! No, you didn't! Why would you leave yourself with 3 rows blocked? What are you doing, my man? What are you doing? No, that's wrong ordering. Apparently he just doesn't want to be behind on row 5, but what does it matter if he has the starting player? Okay, this is good. I mean, 3 rows blocked in round 3 is way too much, my man. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 0, 1 are discarded tiles, by the way. Yeah, in case in point, like, this round is just gonna be so difficult for him. It doesn't matter what the run out is. He only has 7 squares where he can put tiles in his entire position, and there are 20 tiles on the board. If anything, that's actually a pretty good run out for him. Because we're so short on blues. So I think his main plan is to take away blues from me, which is going to work. And then I can take some blacks away from him. Not all of them. And he also has 1 red for his row 1. It's close to the perfect run out for my opponents. Right, 1, 0, 2. No, 1, 2, 1, 2, 0. 1, 2, 1, 0, 1. Yes, that's how discarded tiles go. I didn't like what he did. I didn't really like what he did. Imagine the same run out, but if he has 2 fewer black tiles here and 2 yellows here. And like, no, not 2 yellows here, but like completed row 3. Then his position is just so much better. And better than mine. Also, actually, it's a decent run out for both of us, in the sense that there are barely any reds. Red is the one color which neither of us has a spot for. So what are my plans? My plans is to try and sneak in row 3 if I can, to get 2 blacks for row 5, which is pretty easy, and then to delay row 2 for as long as possible, because I can put either blues. Well, I don't really want to put blues, but I can put either blacks or whites. So row 2 is not that big of a priority. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So he's just conceding me the blues, essentially. Oh, and if I don't take them now, then what he's going to do, he's going to take the blues away from me. So he's gonna either steal my blues or my blacks. Maybe if I get the starting tile, I'm okay with giving away blacks. There's really only so much that he can do. All right. You know what? You know what? Let's take the blues. I think we need them more. I know we're running short on blacks. Oh, that's actually quite a risky thing. But the idea is that since I'm the starting player, 7 blacks should be enough for my setup. Oh, man, actually, I'm not sure if that's the case. 7 is really not a lot. Actually, maybe I should have taken the blacks. And then with the blues, fine. Hindsight, of course, is 20/20. And now the plan is to group everything together for him. Let's try to do this, I guess. And he can... We can force him to discard. My idea is that I can still get a couple of blacks for myself. Actually, we're kind of close to desperation mode about those blacks. So we need to run out with a lot of those in the next round. Maybe if I can get something like whites for row 2. No, but it actually doesn't change anything. Wait, why did I sign up for this? I have 5 blacks that I need to fill in my position. And there's only 7 of those remaining. Well, actually, I'll be using 2 of those. Well, then that's probably not that bad. Okay. Shall I just allow him the standard tactic? Because I don't think it's really all that dangerous. Like, if he does the standard tactic to me, then... I get my row 5. Or I get to deny him the golds again. Yeah, I don't think there can just be anything bad that happens for me. And if he doesn't fill his gold now, then the issue that he's going to be experiencing is a lot of discards. Or another clogged row 3, which maybe is not that big of a problem for him. Also, 1, 2, 1, 0, 2 are the discards. He goes for the standard tactic. And isn't that interesting? Now what do we do? Do we let him complete row 5 and discard, or do we just let it stay clogged? If he completes and discards, it's basically 0 points. Also... Yeah, and also the problem for him is that he cannot complete his stuff. Oh, no, you can't do that! You can't give me 2 blacks! Because it's the perfect moment for me to sacrifice my row 2. Like, I'm not going to use blacks for row 2. I'm going to finish my row 5 of blacks. And I'm going to discard. And he's going to discard 3 whites. And it's going to be minus 5 points for him, which is completely worth the row 2 sacrifice. So he's just trying to, I guess, stay efficient here. Which may be not that bad, because he is ahead on me. No, he isn't ahead in... Yeah, his advantage is going to be row 2. But he's behind on the scoreboard, which is a problem for him. I think the other move that he was trying was better. Basically just being okay with not completing his row 3. On the other hand, if he's not completing his row 3, then he's experiencing another problem. Because then, if I complete my row 4, I suddenly have 3 tiles like on my wall, and I could, in theory, complete here. In practice, it's not going to happen. I do believe that this is a mistake that is about to happen. Yeah, we see. And he goes actually for the move which is best. Which is annoying to see. Yeah. So what do we prioritize now? That's an interesting question. I think it might be just the one black because we're running short on them. If he completes his row 5, that's basically a wash. And then I might just allow him to discard as much as he wants. I can also take away the golds for him. That's not that bad. In any case, I don't think I care too much about the whites. All I need to just count up how many points he's going to have. He's going to have 7, 12, and 7, so 19 points. Which means that we should encourage discards as much as possible. So if I take... wait, again, for blacks, there's 7 blacks remaining, I need 4, and I have the starting player token, which is actually not that bad. And he has already completed his objectives on all the blacks. Yeah, which is quite nice for him. So do I want him to discard? Or do I want him to keep his row 3 clogged? I think keeping it clogged might be a little bit better. Or why don't we just let him decide? I feel like it's good for me to have that little black. Although the downside of this move is that there are 2 groups of 2 blacks I'm going to be discarding anyway. So he goes for this 0-point move, yeah. Which now makes me regret my decisions, I guess. Well, he's going to lose more points. 12101. 12103. Wait, 15103 are the discards, I think. 11 blues. So I think our move is actually this. Let's try and go just for peak efficiency. And obviously it will be madness for him to deny us row 2. But I kind of want to induce that. The idea behind the blues for row 4 simply is because there are a lot of blues. Yeah, as we can see. So he does discard this. So the discard now is going to be But the idea behind the blues here is because I don't really need anything else for that row. Like, blacks are not going here, and there's just a lot of blues, and I just want to keep a point. So, let me think again. Let me think again. One, 5, 2, 0, 3. 1, 5, 2, 0, 3 are the discards. Okay. And he has actually a fantastic position. He's so flexible. He's so flexible. Oh, look at this. That's pretty good run out. It's actually as good as it gets. It's as good as it gets. So there's still 4 blacks remaining, if I remember correctly. And I'm threatening all kinds of things with blues. I'm threatening golds for row 3. And I can still finish my row 2 with blacks, if that's a good idea. Because actually I think that it might be better to leave blacks for later. But in any case, I don't think it really affects my first move all that much, or does it? Do I just prioritize my row 4 now? Okay, let me think about this. Are there going to be even 2 blues? 5, 6, 7, 10, 13, 14. There are like 5 blues still remaining? That's possible. It's 5 blues, 4 blacks. 5 blues, 4 blacks. 4 whites. Three golds. Four reds. I end up with a bit too many tiles, don't I? But something around this. Something around this. Okay. Okay, let's go for this move, because I think I want to just do this. To keep the option of finishing my row 2 with blacks. So now at least I'm threatening a bit of everything. Well, if you look at my opponent's board, it's not, like, it doesn't look very good at all for me. He's going to get 1 red, he's going to get 3 reds for row 3, like, it's just pretty bad. But I will be getting a lot of immediate points, though. I'll be getting 4 plus 6. I'll be getting 10 for my top 2 rows. My opponent's going to be getting 12, though. I'm going to get in my row 5, so it's going to be close. I think he does win in most runouts. Yeah, just because of stuff like this. Just because of stuff like this. And it is not clear what I should be doing. Well, maybe competing for the blues is my first idea, right? It's my first idea, competing for the blues. Doesn't seem too bad, does it? For my row 4. Maybe is that my ticket to victory, potentially? Just getting row 4 stuff. Also want to just double check number of blues. 6, 7... 13, 14, should be 5 or 6 of them. It's a lot. 5 or 6 is a lot. Yeah. Well, I need as many of them as possible, so it's just as simple as that. Let's do this. Like, it's not... Again, do we also think about sacrificing my row 2 now? Maybe not. What if I now take the blacks? He takes the whites. No, that would be horrible if he takes the whites. Oof. Actually, it's not that horrible. I think I can withstand our standard tactic. It's not even that bad. Yeah, let's try that. I think here she should be taking 4 reds. Oh, wait, no. I mean, yeah, wait. 2 whites are horrible for me. What am I doing, man? What am I doing? I think I needed to just keep things a bit more flexible. Yeah. Yeah. That was not smart. I think that move was not good. It was not good. What do I need to do instead? I needed to maybe just wait and take 1 gold for row 1. Yes, something like this. Because if he takes away the blacks, it's not really the end of the world. And also, my row 3 is a bit too dependent on the gold. Like, the reds are not really all that good there. And also, because they're already... I don't remember, either 1 or 2 of those discarded. Can I threaten a complete color on the reds or not? I think I might. I think I might be able to threaten complete color. Just about. Yep, that is an issue. So, do I take the reds and then the yellows? Or do I take the blue first? Because if I take the reds and then the yellows, I ended up discarding actually too much. Yeah. So let's go for this, and then we're sort of okay with any outcome. But I will be just heading into my last round without row 1 for no good reason at all. I think I royally messed that up. But let's see if we can somehow get something good going for us. I mean, we do get a lot of those extras. I'm only down 1 point, but he has still a much better position. He can, for example, start abusing me with those blues. Or not. I guess I should take them. I guess I should take them. What is my ticket to victory? I don't think I really have one. Maybe, okay, maybe 3 reds in row 3 could be enough. But I feel like there's just no way around of taking this. Yeah, there's just no way around this. Maybe 4 blacks in row 4 somehow? Because the thing with the blues is that if I don't do anything about them, My opponent is going to punish me. Okay, let's go for this. Oh yeah, so basically my idea is that my opponent can threaten row 4 with blues, right? So now, at least what I do know is that my opponent cannot take any gold. If he takes a gold, he gives back at least 4 points. This also makes me think that back in that round, I should have used the blues over. I should have used the. Well, actually, no. If I had used the golds over here, I don't think I would have had them here. Oh, but he's okay with that. He's just okay with that. That's interesting. I mean, I'm gonna get the 4 points, but did he calculate that I'm losing regardless? I think I'm losing. So I'm down at -2, and I'm gonna have 4 instead of his 9. Yikes, -7. So I'm gonna be -3 after this. Yeah, that's gonna be. I think I lose by 1 point. Wait, why did I not consider other moves? Why did I not consider other moves? Oh yeah, I kind of had to go there, right? Oh wait, I'm winning. wait, what was that? I'm winning now. By 1 point. Because now I just have the standard tactic, right? I don't think I miscalculated this. Oh no, it's a tie. And then I win because I'm the starting player. I don't, wait. No, I think I win. No? Yeah, by 1 point. Oh wow. I'm pretty sure just all he needed to do was avoid the standard tactic and then I'm good. Like, you need to do something like. Actually, I'm not sure. We need to look at the ending, but I felt like it was his game to win. Anyway, I'm very happy with that. Also, that dubious decision to use the blacks for row 2 was actually like not that horrible, but still, I think just being a bit more patient and filling my row 1 here earlier was a better way to go. And then a very interesting last round, but we also were very short on time. Alrighty, so the score is 2-0, which is pretty awesome. Wait, do we abandon this one actually? Do we abandon this one? Because. Yeah, I think we abandoned this one. It's because it's my turn to be the starting player. Which I am. So let's update the score. Let's update the score. And it actually looks like a pretty good board. Or we even might win this whole match. I did not expect to be ahead 2-0. I'm gonna tell you that. So, this is not as like awesome of a run out that I had in the first game, but it's still pretty good. And maybe golds here are the way to go. Just golds on row 3? That seems normal. Then he takes whites. But the thing with whites is that you can't really do all that much with them. Oh wait, is it? Yeah, I think it's this. If he takes whites, he gives up 2 blacks. Actually, I think he should. Yeah, he still should. But then we can probably just do the same strategy all along as we were doing before, which is to just keep playing against my opponent's... Is it really worth this? I think it's worth the starting player token here because my opponent needs blacks. Do I use row 2? No, I don't think so. This is very principled if I go at the bottom row. But there's just not enough whites to support this, right? And also what I like about this is that I am creating a threat on row 4. So that's pretty nice. Yeah, so it ends up pivoting a little bit. I don't think I got the maximum compared to what I could have. Maybe just using the golds for row 2 was a bit more flexible, perhaps? Okay. It's alright. It's alright with me. I guess this is not the worst idea, to just threaten a couple of things. Do I just take away the blue now? Or do I just complete my row 2? Row 2 can wait. Row 2 can wait. Let's just create some threats. Yeah. Think that's a bit better. Now what do we do? Now I think I have to do this, unfortunately, as weird though it may seem. Simply to disrupt my opponent's row 3 a little bit, and to guarantee that I complete my row 2 at least with something. Yeah. It's a bit of a clunky looking setup, really. Oh. Okay. Now we even get a choice. What exactly do we want to disrupt for my opponent? And I think the answer is we want to disrupt that row. Because there should be a lot of blues, but maybe not as many whites. And discarded tiles are 0, 1, 1, 0, 1. 0, 1, 1, 0, 1. What a run out! I get hit with the deck again! This is just amazing. Like, this is ridiculous. I mean, this is so unbelievably good. So much so that I don't think I need to take the whites yet. Whites can wait. I'd rather take away blacks and take away some row 2 options from my opponent. And then my next order of business is the 2 blues. Which probably my opponent should maybe take now. Also, I have some options where I can pivot to column 4 if I take a lot of whites here. Wait, yeah, so 0, 1, 1, 1, 1 are the discards at the moment. Only blues are yet to have been discarded. Also, make sure that you click the like button for the algorithm. That would be super helpful. Oh, that's good. That's a good move, I think. Because well, this is a good move. Yeah. Bit of a waiting move. I also now just realized that I can complete my row 3 with reds, but I'm not gonna need that. Oh wait, no, reds I'm gonna need for row 5. What am I talking? Okay. What if I just do this? Allow my opponent to do what he wants. No, I hate allowing him the gold. But then, no, maybe that's actually not bad. Maybe that's not bad at all to allow him the gold. I can also just take the... I can also do something crazier like this and pivot to a different column. There's so many whites. Like, I feel like we should be taking advantage of those. Okay, you know what, let's be patient. Let's see what my opponent does. If he wants to take the blues, let him take the blues, although it will be considerable disruption to my column. So he does want to take the blues. Okay. So maybe we do pivot to another column. Well, I guess not until we... Dun dun. What if we do something like... yeah, I think this is the move, actually. And then he has to take the whites, and I take the whites. And then it's a standard tactic, which is favorable for me. Something like that. And then the reds I can use in my row 5 actually quite well. Or gain tiles, or gain points from his discarded tiles. Oh yeah, or that. But actually now I can also do... I can also go for a completely different strategy. I can just force discards and not build anything and try to run away with the scoreboard. That could be interesting. Wow. That actually is not bad. That is not bad at all. No, I think this is the way to go, and he should still be discarding a lot. If he does not take the whites right now, he's actually going to be in big trouble on the whites. Yeah, so he has to do this. And I have to take the blacks, of course, which is going to make the discards... Wait, 0, 3... 0, 3, 4, 3, 2. 0, 3, 4, 3, 2. At least from my memory. He did get actually quite a bit in this round. But fortunately, we have a fantastic run out where I'll have a lot of reds, a lot of blues, and he doesn't have a lot of blacks. He has a lot of golds though. And I think the best thing that I can do is just let him complete. A big question, what do we prioritize? Blues or reds? The answer is clearly blues, because my opponent also needs blues for row 4. Yeah? I think so. So let's go with this. The reason I want to choose these blues is that I want to group 3 golds together, just making my opponent discard a little bit more. Of course, there's some scenarios how he gets to put... Yeah, but he's not going to do that. That's okay. Now, I think just the normal stuff. I do like keeping the pressure with the starting player here. And then he has to go for the... Okay. Are we sure about that? You want to go for a forcing move like this right off the bat. Fine. Maybe then I just do something like this. And then... That should be alright, right? Also, just taking away the black is a reasonable option, because the black is so good for him. Also, doing this is not that bad. Then he does this. Then I take the... Oh yeah, then he has row 1 problems. Because then I take the black. No, but actually I really want to use the blues where they truly belong. It's going to be just an obscene number of points. No. But the black is so good for him. But the blue is also good for him. Maybe this? Because it's a bit of a forcing move, actually. Fine, let's try this. Let's just instead, do this. Then we go for the black. And then if he wants to take blues and sacrifice his row 4, that's fine with me. The question is, where do we put them? So here is going to be net 1 point. And here is going to be net 2 points and also just better positionally, yeah. Not the worst round, but also not the best. We disrupted his row 1 a little bit, advanced our row 5. We need reds everywhere, which is a bit of a problem. But we get just the right amount of reds. And of course, reds are not even a priority because we'd have to take those first. Those blacks are just so good for us. Wait, did I miscalculate something? I didn't think about this, actually. Maybe I should have thought about this. Can he just use up all my reds? Well, maybe. But I think this move should be alright. I don't need that many reds, do I? Also, the idea behind my move is that I can start disrupting his top rows further. And of course, I'm preparing to take away a group of blacks from my row 2. But I believe that the move for him, surprisingly, is to still discard the reds. Wait, how many reds are there? 6, 7, 8, 12. Some have been discarded. Yeah, it's not such a big deal. So let's go for this. And I think he has to go for the standard tactic. I think he has to sacrifice something. Yeah, this is in fact the move. And then I'm gonna just he has to do this. He has to do this. It's not pretty, but he has to do this. Because if he doesn't do this, then I get to free up my row 5, and then I get to use all those blacks. Yeah, I guess it's the gold. Actually, I could see how I could conceivably lose this, because I'm relying on reds a lot. I have nowhere to put gold or reds or blacks. But I will be the starting player, and I just need like a couple of reds to finish this one up. Yeah, I will be discarding though. Oh yeah, actually I need reds everywhere. But I'm also 12 points ahead, which is super useful. And now this is the big question. Do we prioritize finishing our column, going for the highest points move, or just finishing the game? And I think finishing the game is the answer. It's an unfortunate tile right now, in fact, because we have three reds but only 2 plates. But I'm 8 points ahead. Wait, let me think about this. I'm 8 points ahead. I'm going to finish the game right now with the top row, and I'm going to score 10 with that. So that's 18. I'm going to discard 14 pretty much. I'm going to be ahead 4 points. Actually, I might not win. I might not even win. And then do I win in I win in most 6th rounds though. Actually no, I think it's time. I think we need to do this. I think I get something for row 4, and that should be enough. Yeah, that's a good move from my opponent. Now I can just start taking stuff away from him. Maybe I can just start building row 5. Or just discard 1 gold or something. That is also not that bad. Wait. How many points am I ahead at the moment again? 8, 18. Wait, I'm ahead 20 points. So that shouldn't be a problem to deal with, right? What if I just do this? My opponent, so I'm gonna be ahead 5. Wait, I'm gonna be ahead 19. My opponent's gonna score 9 for the top row. Or do we just do this straight away? Or maybe this actually. Yeah, I think this is just the safer way. I don't think I counted this one properly, but it's also a bit of a forcing move, because if they don't take the whites, then I take the whites. And they're gonna lose just a couple extra on the floor line, and that should be enough to put me over the edge. And then the next plan is to discard 1 gold, so that they cannot get extra points for the row 3. And then maybe there's a world where I discard less than 14. I'm gonna let him calculate this one. Yeah, he needs to do this. Exactly. So now I think I do this. And do I even get away with a standard tactic? I think so. Yeah, and I don't even discard 14 points. And now, regardless of what he does, I can threaten some nasty things. So let's say if he takes 1 black. Oh, that one. Not sure if that's any better, actually. But I think I just discard the 2 gold. Yeah, I just discard the 2 gold. Or is it the 3 blacks? There's no real point in discarding the 3 blacks. Because then I would be losing 3 points extra, and it's not worth it to prevent them from getting 3 points. Yeah, also move ordering matters here. Oh yeah, look, they obviously they can't even go here. Yeah, that's the issue. They need to take specifically the 3 blues. Yeah. And then obviously I need to do this. And look at this. I even ended up with not a completely full floor line. Only 2 extra points on the floor line compared to them. (18-17). 18-17 is the final score. Like, that's the lowest scoring Azul game I've played in months. Possibly ever. I don't remember ever winning with 18 points. I mean, it happened before, but it's so rare. So we just keep blocking each other, and there is so much stuff on the floor line. Yeah. I guess, well, that's quite the finish. Yeah, and also 2 1-point wins for me. Last round and this round. I just want to have a look at the stats real quick. Discarded tiles, 28-23, which is not even that bad. I've seen worse, but yeah, no columns completed. Just 1 row per side. This is so unusual. Wait, let's just do this first. And wait. Why did I lose that match? So typically what we're gonna do in such situations, in Carcassonne at least, we just need to go and abandon the games which you haven't played. Wait, how do I get them? How do I get them? Actually, yeah. No. I just lost that chat. Ah, there we go. Do you wanna... Actually, so that's the question. Yeah, so typically in streamers matches in Carcassonne, what we would normally do in case of a score 3-0, which happened both ways, both in my favor and against me, then we would just pause, just stop the match where it is. But since we still have time, we can go for another one. I'm gonna update the score regardless. Alrighty. Ah. I guess that concludes it. Yeah, so hopefully that was somewhat entertaining, especially that last game. Hopefully that was worth sticking around. Wait, Priptonite saying that he had outs in the end. Honestly, you may have seen that it kind of just stopped tile tracking because I felt that was so far ahead, but apparently not so far ahead. Yeah, I really should have calculated that last round a little bit better. Yeah, I'm just writing that I might have overestimated my lead too. But yeah, I guess the floor line, that's what you could... Well, actually, yeah, actually it was still a tough last round for you because I can threaten whites on row 4 or even blues on row 4. And even these couple of points can be decisive. Yeah, exactly. And so Prip is saying that he had to wait for me to commit to blues or whites. Let's just go to that last game again. Actually, that's probably worth looking at it like right now. If I'm honest, I don't think there was anything that he could have done. Even though it was only a 1-point win, I believe that at some point he would just be relying on my mistake in that final round. But I don't know for sure. for me, the final round, even though this is like for me, the final rounds are typically the rounds where I make the most mistakes, even though I shouldn't, because that's perfect information, but because then you should be able to calculate everything. But most often, I tend to either overestimate my lead and then just sort of do normal moves and then lose, or I tend to underestimate. Actually, no, I don't tend to underestimate my position. Then typically, if there's a way for a comeback, I will be looking for it. So last rounds, I generally play better when I'm behind rather than when I'm ahead. But this one, I know. This one I felt was clean enough. Right, I want to just really have a brief look at that game. And then we're going to be wrapping up. By the way, some announcement before we wrap up. Obviously, I'm super happy that I've won this one. I'm looking to try Azul streamers matches in the future, if this is what you're interested in. So do let me know if you want to see me play against somebody else too. There is a Carcassonne streamers match coming up, so if you're into that, make sure to subscribe for that. And then 2 other streams in July. One is going to be Carcassonne and Azul against viewers, and one is going to be Carcassonne games analysis, following the recent Azul games analysis stream that we had. Let's just go to move, I don't know, 100? And then try to solve that last round. See if there's anything they could have hoped for. Yeah, it's just an absolutely fantastic situation here for me in the 3rd round. Yeah, that was actually quite smart of them to try and use the row 3 for defense to steal on my reds. And I think overestimated or underestimated how much those reds are needed. Also, I wonder if I actually should have used blues. No, blues are fine. Blues are fine. Blues were correct. This is obviously just a completely insane draw, but this also makes it so. Yeah, this situation, maybe I can just take reds like a normal person, but I really like this because it just gives me control of the last round. Also, there's a sufficient number of reds to do what I want. I don't know. I think the sequence was fine. And then they have to do this. And then the point of all that is that I have just so much stuff on my board that I should be able to withstand pretty much any floor line losses. So there are 3 reds remaining at that point, and we also get quite a bad run out. The only thing worse would have been all reds in one plate, and then we decide here to finish the game instead of going for that final row. And then, of course, my opponent has to discard the reds because my threats are just too much, both on the column and on row 2. Okay, from this situation, yeah, I just don't think there's anything that they can do. I was considering going here with the gold, but then they could do something like this. They can take 2 whites instead of 3 whites. And this is where I would have some problems, because they would build up a bit more efficiently, and they would also save up 3 whites to go over here. Yeah, so I think for me it's between... No, I think actually I just played the only move, really. Not that one. I think this is the only thing that wins. So we discard 2 blacks. We make sure that they cannot finish their column. We also make sure that if they want to finish the row 1, they have to use the starting player tile. Yeah, I don't think there's just anything that they can do. They could maybe go for row 3 and then try to see if they can somehow engineer the remaining 2 whites here. Genki saying, let's play sometime if you want. Oh, I'd love that. Yeah. So that Genki, of course, is also an Azul content creator. Yeah, whom I wholeheartedly recommend. Also on YouTube. And also, what's your rating now? 1,000, 1,050, 1,100, something ridiculous. So basically, insanely... player of completely incredible strength. Yeah, so that would be super fun. So let's do that. Wait, what did we do here? Oh wait, so Luis is saying, but the red on the 5th floor is worth 12 points, and on the 1st floor it's worth... Yeah, so on the 5th floor it would have been worth 12. Yeah, that is true. 5 for the column. And... Sorry, 5 for the place tiles and 7 for the column. And here it's worth 10, so 5 for the row, 2 for the row bonus, and 3 over here. So the reason I chose to sacrifice those 2 points is because this is the only way to make sure that the game finishes this round. If I go here, then there's a chance that the game goes to the 6th round, and then I can have a bad tile run out. So I'd rather take the guaranteed win now, which I think was guaranteed, rather than risk even like a 10% chance of losing in the next round if the run out is unfavorable. For example, there could be easily a run out with no reds, and then I'm sort of toast because my opponent's gonna, finish his row. I'm gonna discard a lot of tiles regardless in this round, so my opponent's gonna catch up, and then there will really not gonna be that big advantage that I had anymore. So yeah, so the answer is just I need this tile here to finish the game. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's great, Genki. Let's do this sometimes. Yeah, let's arrange that. Saying it's kind of sad that Azul doesn't have much real-time competition of that sort. Well, trying to fix that. Also, there's a bit of something, like there is the Mind Sports Olympiad, but that's only once a year. I mean, the online one, there's also the in-person one on the 24th of August, I believe, in London. So yeah, if you happen to be in the UK, make sure to come for that. Anyway, yeah. So here, after this, yeah, I just don't think there's anything. Because if my opponent choose to do anything else but this, then I just take these tiles here. And then if I complete my row 4, then even if I discard the whole floor line, I should be fine there, yeah. So this seems forced. And then again, it's an important move here to disrupt the golds, to not allow my opponent to score 6 points. And then what does he do? Yeah, maybe now. Maybe now, actually, the move is... wait. Maybe the move, instead of taking the blue, is actually to take the one black here. Because blue scored 5, and the black scored 3, so that's 8. This is 6 straight up. If I go for the standard tactic, that's kind of the same, actually. It's also 8, plus I take this, I take this. Yeah, so both moves, both the blue for row 1 and black here, they lead to the same outcome. So again, I just don't believe there's anything that can be done here other than hoping for a mistake. Yeah, so this move again makes all the sense in the world. I discard what I discard, although actually discarding 3 blacks is also perfectly fine. Yeah, and then Priptonite is precise here. And then we do this. Yeah, so it's a crazy last round, but I genuinely believe that there was no win for my opponent. And they did what they could. They created those threats. But the idea here is that we discarded only those tiles for which they could have threatened something on these here key rows. And they only ended up scoring just a couple more points than I did at the top. Yeah, leading for 18 versus 17 victory. Alrighty. That concludes it. Make sure to subscribe so that you can see the next stream, which is happening sometime soon. But I'm not I'm not sure if I'm gonna do Carcassonne first or Azul first next week. But it's something happening in the upcoming week. Yeah, and then that's it. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'm gonna see you soon.